Greetings from across the globe, all ramp enjoyers. This is simicfan45, back at it again with another video. Now, I recognize that you all have been pouring your hearts out in the YouTube comments section, just desperate for that Betrayers of Kamigawa limited review. And I'm afraid it's going to take a little bit more time for that to come out. So in the meantime, I have something a little special for you all. I'm going to be taking a look at all of the Commander decks that I have built and giving them a score of 1 to 10. I'll be rating them holistically and objectively with absolutely zero jokes. Let's begin. First up, we have Ramos, or as I like to call him, Ramos, Dragon Engine. Building this deck was my first ever exposure to Magic the Gathering and its Commander format. The many trials and tribulations I faced while building this deck have taught me a lot about life, liberty, and of course, the pursuit of happiness. Let's start with the good things about Ramos Dragon Engine, as few as there are. First of all, this deck features both blue and green, and because it's a 5-color deck with very high cost and mana intensive spells, it's key to have a lot of ramp and card advantage. As a result, this deck was my introduction to the Simic way of life. Now let's talk about the bad. I've always seen 5-color as a bit of a noob trap, especially considering I was a noob when I was trapped by it. 5-color decks are often extremely expensive in real money, and the payoff is absolutely not worth it. You spend your entire game ramping and just trying to get anything online. Even though you have access to pretty much any card ever printed, in practice, the game plan is very linear, and every 5-color deck often gets stuck running the same cards over and over again. The deck is slow, vulnerable to removal, and just not as fun as it seems at the outset. Overall, I would give this deck a 3 out of 10. The only good thing I got out of it was that I traded in all the cards I bought to buy other decks. Next up is the colorless card, Liberator, Urza's Battlethopter. If you can believe it, this deck is even worse than Ramos Dragon Engine, and I recommend it even less. The idea of a colorless deck always appealed to me, as artifacts have been my favorite card type since beginning, and I thought it would be really funny to build a colorless deck with absolutely zero Eldrazi or Eldrazi related cards. It turns out, Los Drazos are very important for the colorless archetype. I would give this deck archetype a 1 out of 10. If you want to build a colorless deck, build Eldrazi. If you have any respect for yourself at all, don't do that either. Finally, we reach a deck that I still actually own. This is the Necron's Precon from Warhammer 40k. I originally became interested in this precon when I was introduced to the concept of precons, and I found a mono-black artifact deck. I ended up going to several stores across my area in order to find a sealed copy of it, and I eventually did, for what is now an extremely cheap price of $80. Next time you're at your LGS, check the price of the Warhammer 40k precons. You'll be surprised. The deck is not especially strong, but it is very stylish. Warhammer 40k's lore and story is world famous for how simply cool it is, and it's a perfect fit for Magic the Gathering. Overall, I would give this deck a 7 out of 10. It's pretty weak in terms of power level, but it's really cool.
Glory to the Silent King.
Now, I know what you guys are thinking. This guy is a frickin' fraud. Where's the Simic deck? No Simic deck? Where's the Certified Ponder moment? Where's the Ramp enjoyment? Well, here we are. This is Kiora, Sovereign of the Deep, my first ever Simic deck. I originally built this deck as a $50 budget challenge. To this day, I've avoided buying any cards worth more than $10 to keep the price down and the vision pure. This deck is the true definition of the Simic value engine. You play certified cantrips, you ramp, and you play a bunch of big old fish. I'm very fond of this deck, and my friends are a fan of it as well. If you're looking for a different approach to the concept of tribal, a Simic enjoyer yourself, or simply a fan of big fish, then I would highly recommend Kiora, Sovereign of the Deep. 10 out of 10. Mono blue sucks, no jokes. Finally, let's talk about something a little more contemporary. I built Jan Jansen this year. Jan Jansen is my favorite character from Baldur's Gate 2, and it turns out he's in Magic too. This is a very, very interesting toolbox artifact combo deck. I have a lot of fun with it, and it has a pretty good win rate too, which is unusual for me. Normally I'm a huge loser when it comes to Magic. There's something that's bothering me about this deck though, now that I look at it. I'm thinking about the color combination here. It's Mardu, black, white, red. It's kind of reminding me of something. Every time I'm at a game store, I have to physically hold myself back from buying the Edgar Markov on the top shelf and eating it right in front of the cashier. The price just keeps going up. It's in the 40s now. Who is spending $40 on Edgar Markov? I've never seen someone buy one, I've never seen someone run one. What is the purpose of this card? You know, I've been thinking about First Strike recently, ever since I made that last video where I talked about it. Every game I play where First Strike is on the board, I think, is this gonna do anything? Has it done anything? I've been polling my friends ever since then to see, are there any examples of First Strike actually affecting the game state? And I am proud to inform you that I have yet to see a single example. My friend has been working on this 6-mana Teamer Dragon Commander deck for so long, and we're constantly having struggles in the DMs trying to figure out how to make it work. And sometimes I can't bear to tell him, it's not your fault, it's not the deck's fault. It's because it's a 6-mana commander. That's cursed. 6 mana or more is just not allowed. It's one of many reasons why Edgar Markov is a terrible card. 6 mana is too much even for a commander. Ah, Eminence. You guys all know Eminence. You know how I feel about it. It's often been said that the only good Eminence card is the Ur-Dragon. Whenever I talk about Eminence and other commander-specific mechanics, this is often cited to me. There's a problem with the Ur-Dragon though, and I don't know if anybody's ever noted this. It says other dragons. Like, it literally doesn't even apply to himself. He still costs 9. The mechanic is so pathetic that they can't even, like, let it benefit himself. It only affects other dragons that you cast. The Ur-Dragon is already such a bloated and overrated deck, and then these Eminence lovers are coming out of the woodwork to hate on me for saying Eminence sucks. They haven't even read their commander and realized how, like, completely arbitrary that one line of text is, that one word, other. Like, they could have just made the card cost a rainbow +5 and said all dragons you control cost one less to cast. Like, it would be so easy, it wouldn't change the card at all, but it ruins the vibe of it for me, that even this so-called good Eminence card is just, like, spitting in your face like that. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, since the last video, I've become a Mardu lover. Mardu is quickly becoming my second or even first favorite 3-color combination. So I feel more qualified than ever just to talk about how terrible Edgar Markov is. The Eminence ability is so meaningless. The activated ability is never gonna happen because you're so telegraphed in when you're gonna play your commander in Mardu, so you're just gonna get your ass kicked. And that's fucking First Strike. Like, if you look up every single Mardu legendary creature and you want to build a commander deck, every single one is a better choice than Edgar Markov. Pull up the Scryfall EDH rec. Look at this. This is every Mardu legendary creature sorted by EDH rec. I don't know what the hell's going on at EDH rec, but they have Edgar Markov placed 3rd here. 3rd, above Jan Janssen, Kali of the Vast, and one of the best precons ever printed. And Edgar Markov is up there. Like, have you guys ever met anybody who has an Edgar Markov deck? Like, not just your friends, not just people you've played with. Like, do you know anybody who does? Do you know anybody who knows anybody who does? You guys can put it in the comments, but I know the answer is going to be no. This is like some sort of weird protection racket, like the Edgar Markov Syndicate has been, like, pulling strings from behind the scenes to put Edgar Markov at the top of EDH rec so that people will pay $40 for his cards. Like, there's some kind of fucking conspiracy about Edgar Markov here. What's the deal with that? Anyway, are you guys excited for Final Fantasy? I'm super excited for it. I just placed a pre-order. I'm gonna pick up the new Mardu deck.